Hello and welcome to the Agile Matrix podcast with Tammy. And they may be asking, what is the aim of this podcast? Let me put to you with this short story. I'm sure we remember the character Bruce Lee, that famous martial artist that died in 1973. He was a phenomenal martial artist and the actual founder of the boxing style called Jeet Kune Do. Now, he started out as a student of Wing Chun under Ip Man. But over the years, as he grew as a fighter, as a competitor, he found out that even though Wing Chun was really good, if anytime he either fought to someone that is a different fighting style, he would learn, spar, learn the techniques of the other person, so learn karate, judo, and other fighting styles. And over the years, he came to the conclusion that even though Wing Chun was very good and all the other fighting styles were really good, they had a lot of fluff in them. Because when you look at it, according to his words, the aim of every fighting style was to end their fight as quickly as possible. But all these fighting styles had a lot of fluff and had a lot of form and character. And they realized actually that if you stripped out some of the unimportant parts, like waste, you then are left with the essential fighting style. And he put this together along with a certain mentality, and he put that and he formed Jeet Kune Do. So the idea behind the Agile Matrix podcast and Agile Matrix really is that there are many techniques and frameworks that exist in Agile space, and they all address different areas of the Agile problem or of the problem of value delivery. So the Agile Matrix, the idea is to bring the best ideas of all of them together under one umbrella. Because when you think of it really, when you deliver a service or you receive a service, so for example, if you're an iPhone user, you know that sometime in September, Apple will release a new iPhone. Are you really particularly bothered about whether they use Kanban or Scrum or Safe or Less or the Nexus? What you're concerned about is that your phone arrives on time, it works as it should, and that you're happy with your purchase, right? So that's the idea behind the Agile Matrix podcast, is to come up with ideas and techniques and discussions and look at how we've delivered value using a mixture of these frameworks and techniques, and even some new ones that people don't know much about. I mean, we're very aware that a lot of us know about Scrum and Kanban, but there are other techniques that exist in the Agile space. People are trying. Remember this, and I say this in any of my coaching courses, that the Agile idea, it's a movement that is still moving, it's evolving consistently. Why? Because we're in a complex space. Things are changing and our methods must adapt to meet the changing conditions that we're in. If not, we will not be able to deliver value to our customers. So that's the idea behind the Agile Matrix. So welcome to this podcast. I'm committing myself to actually doing 2 episodes a week. I'm going to do my best to keep to that, but this is my first episode. So let me know what you think, and let me know and get back to me and give me feedback so I can know that, you like what you're hearing and you like to see more from me. So thank you very much, and see you in the episode of the Agile Matrix podcast with Tammy. Cheers all. Hello. Welcome again to the Agile Matrix podcast with Tammy. Now, the previous podcast, we looked at the Agile values, and I think it makes perfect sense for us to go into the Agile principles. So now, in one of my classes, someone asked the question, values, principles, what's the difference? Are they similar? Why do they use those terms? And I thought I'll just talk about that a little here before we go into the principles themselves. So when we look at values, the Agile values are the fundamental beliefs and priorities that underpin the Agile methodologies, right? They express what is important in Agile development, as well as serve as the foundation for decision-making and behavior within Agile teams, right? So we talk about the 4 Agile values, the core values, which are individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software about comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration about contract negotiation, and then responding to change about following a plan. Now, what are principles? Now, the Agile principles are specific guidelines or practices derived from the Agile values. Okay, derived from the Agile values. They provide more detailed guidance on how to apply Agile values in software development. The Agile principles offer practical advice and serve as a framework for Agile teams to follow. The Agile Manifesto also includes 12 principles that further elaborate on the values and provide guidance on how to implement Agile methodologies effectively. Okay, so what are we saying here? Agile values represent the core beliefs and priorities of Agile development, while the principles offer specific guidelines and practices derived from these values to guide the implementation of Agile methodologies, particularly in software development projects, but as we see in the modern day, extending beyond software to other forms of work. Okay, so that's the difference between Agile values and Agile principles. So now let's go into the principles themselves. Now there are 12 of them. I'm thinking it's possible I might finish all 12 today. If not, we'll do another episode to finish off whatever we don't finish today. Okay, so there are 12 principles. And the first one, we say customer satisfaction through early and continuous software delivery. Now, what are we saying? We prioritize delivering valuable software to customers early and frequently, ensuring that their satisfaction is reached and that we also get rapid feedback. And that's what this principle is focusing on. We're focusing, number one, on getting the customer satisfaction, but more importantly, getting feedback. So we're saying, instead of waiting for the master plan to come to fruition, deliver regularly in increments and get feedback to know if you're in the right direction, what I call direction of flight. So you're trying to confirm from the customer what we are doing. Is it exactly what you want? Are we in the right direction? Are we in the wrong direction? Do we need to pivot? Okay, that's number one. Number two, we say welcome changing requirements, even late in development. What are we saying? We recognize the fact that requirements change. We're in a complex space. Things change. The market changes. Right? So what we're saying is that in the Agile practices, we're looking at the mentalities that we embrace change as a competitive advantage. Now, in traditional project management, I always say this, that we look at change as something that we fight against. But in the Agile space, you must look at change as updated information, updated requirements. So accept them. So we allow, what we're saying, allowing teams to adapt and deliver the most valuable product. That's what we're saying. Okay, so accommodate change. It's information, it's updated information. And via that information, the team should be able to adapt. That way, we are sure we are hitting the mark regarding our value delivery, right? That's number two. And number three, deliver working software frequently with a preference for shorter timescales. What are we focusing here? So we're saying that Agile promotes iterative development cycles, right? Where small increments of functionality are delivered regularly, enabling teams to respond to changing needs and deliver value quickly. What are we saying? The shorter the planning horizon, the more flexible we are. So we say plan for a shorter time frame that enables us to deliver software incrementally or deliver value incrementally, right? Instead of waiting for the 6-month project to deliver something. No, it's every 2 weeks, every week, deliver something to the customer and get feedback, get to know, are we spending our money and our time and our effort in the right direction or not? Okay, then number 4, we say collaboration between business and stakeholders, and developers throughout the project, right? So what are we saying? I said in the previous podcast, it's about collaborative value creation, and that's what this emphasizes, that it should be continuous collaboration between developers, customers, and other stakeholders to ensure that delivered software meets the business objectives. So collaboration between the business and engineering, so to speak. And number 5, supportive, motivated individuals and trust within teams. What are we saying? Agile teams are built around motivated individuals who are trusted to get the job done. Leaders provide the support and the necessary resources for the teams to succeed. We're saying support the teams. They are the experts. Give them the tools that are required, the information that they require, and let them get to work. I watched an interview of Steve Jobs some time ago, the former founder of Apple. He's late now. And was asked the question that how does Apple keep doing innovative things? And he said something really interesting. He said his role, first of all, is get a problem statement, to hire the right people, give them the problem, and get out of the way. that he believes hiring people that are smarter than you and give them problems to solve. Another interview, he mentioned that his main role at Apple was to direct the orchestra. That everybody's an expert playing their own instruments, but his job is just to direct it. In other words, direct effort. Okay, then number 6, enable face-to-face interactions as the most efficient and effective method of conveying information. What are we saying? We value direct communication. We encourage collaboration of team members to facilitate quick and effective information exchange, right? And then number 7, we talk about the fact that working software is a primary measure of progress. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the aim of it all is to deliver working software. That is the best way to measure progress. Instead of relying solely on documentation or milestones, have we delivered software? That is the thing. Have we delivered value? Not that we intended to deliver, but have we delivered it? That is our measure of progress. And then we're talking about maintaining a sustainable pace of work for the developers. What are we talking about? The recognition of the importance of maintaining a sustainable pace to ensure the long-term health and productivity of the development team. I always tell my team members something that the way we work, can we sustain this indefinitely? If we can't, then we need to change something. Because you remember, it's not a 100-meter dash, it is a marathon in terms of delivering value. So we have to work at a pace that we can sustain. That's where the team's reliability comes into the equation. Can we be reliable? Can we, if we are able to deliver a feature per sprint, can we keep to that indefinitely? If we can't, then maybe we should break down the feature to be something smaller that we can deliver per sprint, so that if you look at the roadmap, obviously give or take, we're in the complex space, remember? Complexity. So give or take, 1 or 2 features here and there, but at least you should be able to rely on the team to go, yeah, this guy can deliver roughly around this every sprint. So we can depend on that if we have to do this number of things, then able to deliver within a certain time frame, give or take, obviously. So we're saying it shouldn't be the wild, wild west. There should be some level of predictability, reliability, more like. Okay, then we say there should be content attention to technical excellence and good design. What are we saying? Quality. There has to be quality and technical excellence in software development. So we are saying that in Agile space, we promote practices such as continuous integration, automated testing, refactoring, getting the best quality code out there, best quality value delivered, best quality work done at every instance. Then we talk about simplicity, the art of maximizing the work not done. Then what are we saying? We encourage teams to focus on delivering the simplest solution that meets the customer's needs. No need for gold plating. No need for unnecessary complexity and waste. Just deliver the simplest thing that meets the customer's expectations and needs. That is it. Then number 11, we'll talk about self-organizing teams. We'll talk about great architecture, requirements, and design. They emerge from self-organizing teams. What are we saying? If we empower the team to self-organize and make decisions collaboratively, and we allow them to own their work, the best designs emerge from those teams. When they have ownership of what they're delivering. First of all, they have an understanding of the value proposition, and the team on their own self-organizing how to solve that problem or deliver the value. We get the best architecture from those teams. Then finally, we talk about the fact that the teams regularly reflect. It says regular reflection on how to become more effective and then tuning and adjusting the behavior of the team accordingly. Now this, I'm sure you've heard about the sprint retrospective. This is where the idea comes from. What are we saying? The Agile teams from time to time reflect on how they work in a certain time frame and then tune their processes and their actions and their decisions to improve productivity. Right? So now these principles, we actually finished them in the time I thought we might finish them. So these principles serve as guiding values for Agile teams. They shape their mindset, they shape their behaviors, they shape their practices, and enable them to deliver high quality value that meets the evolving needs of the customer. Okay? So those are the 12 Agile principles. So thank you very much for joining us today on the Agile Matrix podcast with Tammy. So tune in weekly. We plan to deliver 2 podcasts per week. So tune in weekly as we unravel the mysteries of Agile principles, of practices, of Scrum, of Kanban, of Agile frameworks, and then tackle common challenges faced by Agile teams. So whether you are a seasoned Agile practitioner or just starting your journey, the Agile Matrix podcast offers something for everyone. So connect with me on LinkedIn for exclusive updates, some even behind the scenes content. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Tim Tokwe there. Or if you have questions or comments, send them via your favorite podcast app or visit our website at agilematrix.org to engage with our vibrant community. So don't miss out on an opportunity to transform your software development process. Subscribe to this podcast today and unleash the power of Agile in your projects. So stay agile, stay ahead.